Archaeology. General observations. The archaeological remains that are considered to date from the time of Solomon are notable for the fact that Canaanite material culture appears to have continued unabated. There is a distinct lack of a magnificent empire or cultural development. Indeed, comparing pottery from areas traditionally assigned to Israel with that of the Philistines points to the latter having been significantly more sophisticated. However, there is a lack of physical evidence of its existence, despite some archaeological work in the area. This is not unexpected because the area was devastated by the Babylonians, then rebuilt and destroyed several times. In 2014, Professor of Anthropology Jimmy Harden and his team discovered 6 official clay bully seals at a site east of Gaza called Khirbet Sumali. He states that these bully are associated with an Iron Age IIA political entity typified by elite activities dated to the 10th century BCE. The bully appear to be the only known examples that date to this period. In his view, this lends general support to the historical veracity of David and Solomon as recorded in the Hebrew biblical texts. Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Little archaeological excavation has been done around the area known as the Temple Mount, in what is thought to be the foundation of Solomon's temple, because attempts to do so are met with protests by Muslim authorities of the Jerusalem Waqf. Precious metals from Tarshish. The biblical passages that understand Tarshish as a source of King Solomon's great wealth in metals, especially silver, but also gold, tin, and iron, Ezekiel 27, were linked to archaeological evidence from silver hoards found in Phoenicia in 2013. The metals from Tarshish were reportedly obtained by Solomon in partnership with King Hiram of Phoenician Tyre, Isaiah 23, and the fleets of Tarshish and ships that sailed in their service. The silver hoards provide the first recognized material evidence that agrees with the ancient texts concerning Solomon's kingdom and his wealth. Possible evidence for the described wealth of Solomon and his kingdom was discovered in ancient silver hoards, which were found in Israel and Phoenicia and recognized for their importance in 2003. The evidence from the hoards shows that the Levant was a center of wealth in precious metals during the reigns of Solomon and Hiram, and matches the texts that say the trade extended from Asia to the Atlantic Ocean. Cabo. The distribution of fortified cities between Phoenicia and Galilee in Iron Age IIA, 10th to 9th century BCE, provides context on Solomon's sale of territory to Hiram, which he derided as Kabul, i.e., good for nothing. Kyle H. Keimer argues that they reflected Solomon's apathy to the tribe of Asher, who lived in Phoenicia, or his strategic thinking, where these cities served as defense barriers against foreign invasions. When it came to national defense, Near Eastern states did not rely on walls. Instead, they guarded resources, which they prioritized over the people. In addition, it revealed Solomon's political upper hand over Hiram. These events were subsequently preserved in sources, which a Deuteronomistic historian relied on when writing 1 Kings 9 verses 11 to 14. Biblical criticism. Solomon's religiosity. From a critical point of view, Solomon's building of a temple for Yahweh should not be considered an act of particular devotion to Yahweh because Solomon is also described as building places of worship for a number of other deities. Some scholars and historians argue that the passages, such as his dedication prayer, 1 Kings 8 verses 14 to 66, that describe Solomon's apparent initial devotion to Yahweh were written much later, after Jerusalem had become the religious center of the kingdom, replacing locations such as Shiloh and Bethel. Earlier historians maintain that there is evidence that these passages in Kings are derived from official court records at the time of Solomon and from other writings of that time that were incorporated into the canonical books of Kings. More recent scholars believe that passages such as these in the books of Kings were not written by the same authors who wrote the rest of the text, instead probably by the Deuteronomist.